Hey everyone, this is Jackie Cooper with the Blockchain Legal Institute, and today we are having a conversation with Benjamin about Constellation Network, which is one of our hackathon sponsors with bounties, and we're very excited to have Constellation a part of our BLI Legal Tech Hackathon. This hackathon is, in case you're seeing this on any of the socials, is live on DoraHacks, and you can definitely register for the Constellation Network track by going to bli.tools/hackathon or directly to DoraHacks as well. So today we're going to be chatting a little bit about what Constellation is and the supports and why we're involved with this hackathon. Benjamin, how are you doing today?
Doing great, Jackie. Thanks for having me, and thanks for having us be a part of your hackathon.
No, we're really excited. I mean, your Constellation is involved with a lot of great tech and projects. Do you want to explain a little bit more why Constellation was interested in the a legal tech and compliance reg tech hackathon? Because you're involved with both governments as well as enterprises. So what interested Constellation in being part of this?
Yeah. So, we are at Constellation involved in quite a bit. That said, we are very selective, right? So we want to make sure that we're aligning with projects, institutions that sort of align with our ethos and our growth trajectory and how we see the market. And that's largely why we decided to get involved with the Blockchain Legal Institute on this hackathon. In fact, this is the only hackathon we're participating in right now. And
Thank you so much.
we have not entertained others at this time, just mostly because of the, I guess, the forum you've created for this and how this is an industry we take very serious. We last saw you in person at the DC Summit out in Washington, DC. And we launched our digital evidence product, which is really largely around data, right? And if you were at this conference, much like most conferences, I know you're in Vegas right now, that they're all largely predicated on cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
So I really like what you've done, Jackie, about creating a forum that focuses on some of the unsung heroes of this workflow, which is around, regulation. What is the right compliance approach for industry using blockchain? And so the reason we joined this hackathon is so that we could be in line with those that want to focus on data-driven products and projects that align with what the Blockchain Legal Institute has really created.
No, I appreciate that. We definitely see a need for this in the community because the laws are changing fast. Law firms have a need, regulators have a need, entrepreneurs have a need to understand more and to have the tools that are created. And I know the developing world, the developers within our community are very creative. So we're looking forward to seeing what they can do. And the other thing I want to mention for those that don't know, this is not a short-term hackathon. I mean, it's live now on DoraHacks, but you can submit projects all the way to October 31st. The judging will be November and December with the bounties released at the end of December. There might be on the Constellation track a little bit more of a compression of time depending upon what happens with some events, but we'll keep you updated on that. So there are resources for those that are new to Constellation. There's going to be a Discord group. There's going to be other tech support. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, while I mentioned we're only working on this hackathon, this isn't our first. We've done this before. And so the good news is that we've, got our bearings around how to handle these things from sort of a focus support, how to make sure everybody feels guided through this, because we are a little bit of a different ecosystem, right? Those that build on our network will come to find out that it's not just coding a Solidity smart contract, which is largely what most hackathons are, some form of a Solidity smart contract. We are a completely different infrastructure. So there's a little bit of a learning curve. But what we've learned from some of our past hackathons is that we have wonderful videos, guides, things that will really handhold you all the way through. Plus, our team is willing to jump in if you get into a pinch and you need some help. But we do have this dedicated Discord channel so that folks 24/7 have access to resources and real humans that will help them untangle anything they may get stuck on. So our last hackathon we did, I think something like 700 projects participated, which ended up into a finalist of about 40 or 50 projects, somewhere around there. And what I loved is that 80% of them were focused on data. How do we bring Web3 solutions to the legacy? How do we impact the real world versus just more what I call echo chamber crypto solutions, which, don't get me wrong, those are very important. And I'm not trying to get people to shy away from those, because we do have a currency framework. You can launch digital assets on our network and do cool things within the hackathon. So don't shy away. But we are really focused on how do we bring Web3 tools to the legacy, which is largely why we are a part of the Blockchain Legal Institute.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. So, everyone who is listening, there will be the list of resources, both within Dora Hacks as well as within the blog below. Any other areas that you want to explain in terms of what makes Constellation so unique, if someone's not familiar with, the projects that you've been involved with?
Yeah, I mean, so we are, to get nerdy for a second, a directed acyclic graph, which means we're a graph-based blockchain. So we're actually technically not a blockchain, we're a block graph type of thing, but not a whole lot different than our friends over at IOTA and of course, Hedera Hashgraph. There's quite a few DAGs out there. But because of that, we're really predicated on big data. Like, that's really the focus of our network. Is sure, we can bring data online and get it on our network in small packets, but the network really starts to speed up when you add more data. Like, it's really what makes the things sing. So we focus on projects that may not be the sexiest sometimes in these hackathons, such as like ERP or maybe IoT data. Things that may not be in the front and center, but we were one of the first. We're very proud of decentralized physical infrastructure. We right now have 3,500 devices that are adding data on chain in real time right now around the globe. If those are interested in that, we have open source that entire network, so you can literally just fork that project and start to apply it to your own IoT sensors. So the point is that we not only have, I think, very interesting use cases that a lot of folks aren't thinking about, but we also have traction in these use cases, not only with the federal government, but also with enterprise, that we're willing to share our learnings with you to help you get moving and get going in the right direction. So we're very unproprietary, if you will. Like, we don't want to hold things close. We want to get you involved. So the last thing I'll say around digital evidence, which is our product that was born from our 6 years of working with the DoD, is really around creating that chain of custody, which is really what blockchain's amazing about, of data from the source that you then can report on, which we offer a thing called the smart check mark that shows up in UI or reports that folks can click on, and it shows on a block explorer what has been validated, giving you that sense of peace that nothing has been augmented, changed, tampered. And so selfishly, I want to push people to try to use that type of paradigm, because that's something we do really well. So try to think about what are those use cases where we have to think about assurance, liability assurance, ensuring compliance. That's the type of stuff you can programmatically bake into our blockchain that sort of takes that stuff off the table, but creates this real-time enforcement in workflows right now that are often a mess. So I know that was a lot there, but hopefully that's very helpful as far as what we're looking for and really excited about supporting.
No, I'm really glad you expanded on that, because again, I'm new to the IoT world and the dependent, that type of thing. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what our developers and those that are participating in this hackathon are going to be creating. And this will be the first year, but our goal is to see the products develop and also see what they can extend to the commercial side. So I know that a lot of the ideas that get started in a hackathon end up being companies later. So this will be very exciting from that perspective.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, and if anyone builds something compelling enough, I mean, we'll bring them into the fold of Constellation Core, right? Like, hey, how do we get you involved in potential enterprise deals that we can take your tech to? Because we do want to see this as a collaborative effort. And anybody that's spent time with our community knows that we are really big on community and collaboration. We just launched delegated staking last week. We're very proud of that. I think almost 1 billion DAG has been staked in 7 days. So that's pretty cool. So the point is, there's a lot of really cool Web3 to get involved with node management, node deployment, rewards on cryptocurrency. But where I'm really focused on is how do we expose some of these cool use cases that you and I have talked about here, Jackie, to the enterprise? How do we get them in the game is really what my directive is here. So I'm really proud to be doing this with you.
Yeah, no, I'm also going to be learning a lot as we go as well, because again, this is a very evolving area. So I know that this summer I'm going to be diving into learning more about how to code as well. So I'll be able to kind of maybe answer some more questions, but not a lot. I'll be at the kindergarten level. All right, everyone. So thank you so much for being on, Benjamin. We will list the resources below. Definitely share this with those that you know. We want you to go ahead and register for the hackathon and participate. We have $32,000 worth of bounties, and 10,000 is from Constellation. So we are really, truly grateful. So everyone, thank you, and reach out and let's start hacking. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Jackie.